Hello and welcome. My name is Sunshine Amos, the CEO and Project Manager, Sunshine Resources. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to start a production business at home. And so if you are new to this channel, I suggest you hit the subscription button so that you get posted of our videos and resources each time we upload them. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I started this video series of how to start a production business at home. Now, this is the second edition in the video series. In the first edition, I talked about what production business entails, and I differentiated between production business and the regular buying and selling business, which most of us are familiar with. Today, I'm going to go a little bit further to tell you why you should start your production business at home. Now, the emphasis here, the point of emphasis here is at home. The underlying word here is at home. Why you should start your production business at home. Now, this is very important to me because when I was growing up in the 80s as a little boy, the impression I had was that all these commodities we find in our market are produced in the industry with heavy machineries. Commodities like liquid soap, bar soap, toilet soap, and even cement. All these are produced in the industry with heavy machineries. And even from the structure of education we received in the classroom, it was further consolidated. Our belief was further consolidated that all these commodities were produced in the industry with heavy machineries and that they cannot be produced at home. And so when we pay excursions to industry to see these machines, our belief were confirmed. No child would ever believe or think that liquid soap, bar soap, toilet soap, or even cement can be produced at home. They have also made us to believe that even the local soaps that our mothers produced in the village, such as the black soap, which the Yorubas called Osedudu, we were made to believe that such soaps were local, crude, and ugly. Now, at some point in time, I started to feel like our education is actually a scam because our education did not even help us to develop the local chemistry and industry that we inherited. Instead, it made us to reject them completely. Because year in, year out, we have graduates in chemistry, biochemistry, industrial chemistry, applied chemistry, chemical engineering, petroleum engineering, so many fields related to chemistry, and these guys cannot even develop this local industry that has been there for several years. This black soap industry has remained in the village and it is there. Now, our educational system did not even make us to think of how to develop this local industry that we have. That is one of the local industry that has remained from time immemorial. And year in, year out, we have graduates in relevant field and they can't even develop this industry. They even made us to reject those industry and leave them in the village. That is horrible. And to make matters worse, the skill of how to make soap, detergent, paint, etc., even how to make them at home, were all hidden. Were hidden from the school curriculum. No one goes to school, come out of school, and know how to manufacture anything. That is a reality. No one goes to school and knows how to manufacture anything. That is a reality. And this is very, very unfortunate that people come out of the school and they were taught to reject their local inheritance and accept whichever one we're accepting, I do not know. And that is the reason why we have so many people in our society today unemployed, hopeless, and useless. Now, to me, this means that our education system has blindfolded us from seeing the local treasure that is buried in the system. Now, these are the reasons why we emphasize on doing the production by yourself at home. Number one, to simplify the process. Number two, to demonstrate the process. Number three, to make you own the process just the way you cook your food in the kitchen. Number four, to make you develop production skills at home. And number five, to let you discover the entrepreneurship part of chemistry that has been hidden from the school curriculum for a very long time. Now let's look at the advantages of doing it yourself at home. Let's look at the advantages of doing your production by yourself at home. Number one, it's going to save you a lot of money. It's going to save you a lot of money when you do your production at home. Now just imagine if you buy your breakfast, your lunch and dinner from the restaurant. Imagine how much money you will spend in a day. Think of how much money you will save if you go to the market and buy the food ingredients and bring them to the house to cook it yourself. It is the same thing with household products you consume, such as soaps, pomade, disinfectant, etc. Imagine how much money you will save for yourself if you can produce these products by yourself. Imagine how much quantity of soap or pomade you consume in a month. Just think of how much money you will save if you are the one producing them. Now let me use petroleum jelly as a case study. To produce about 1.7 kilogram of petroleum jelly, you just need to spend 1,200 naira. Now a 400 gram container of petroleum jelly in the market costs 500 naira. Now let's find out how many 400 gram is found in 1.7 kilogram. Now 1.7 kilogram is the same as 1,700 gram. Now if you divide 1,700 gram by 400, you get 4. Now with your 1,200, you have just produced 4 containers of petroleum jelly, and you still have 100 left, because from this calculation we still have about 100 gram left. Now let's find out how much money you have saved. A container of 400 gram costs 500 naira, and you have produced 4 of such containers. Now if you multiply 4 by 500, you get 2,000. If you were to buy it from the market, you were supposed to spend 2,000 naira. Now you have ended up spending just 1,200 naira. Let's calculate how much you have saved. If you deduct 1,200 naira from 2,000, you have 800 naira. You have saved 800 naira for yourself. You see, ladies and gentlemen, wisdom is profitable to direct. That's what the Bible says. Now, apart from the fact that you have saved yourself 800 naira, there is this joy of manufacturing that you get, and there is also this satisfaction that comes with it. Now you are also developing a skill, and this is very, very important, because the more you do it, the more experience and expertise you gain. Now, if you do it for a minimum of 1 year, you automatically become what you do. It becomes your hobby, it develops into a passion, and your knowledge keeps growing and growing. It becomes very easy if you want to commercialize this process, because you have been doing it for a very long time. Now, this is the best way to develop a production skill, and it becomes a lot easier if you want to go commercial, because you've been doing it for a very long time. Now, the next thing that you should do is to develop your research skills. Now, as a producer or manufacturer, always remember that you are a scientist. You need to behave like a scientist. So what do scientists do? Scientists do research. As a manufacturer or producer, you should be prone to research. Very important. You should be willing to explore. You should be willing to learn. Research is very easy to do these days, especially if you go to the internet, and you find a lot of very useful information that you want to get. So research should be part of the things you do if you want to go into production. Number 2, you have to be ready to observe. Very, very important. As a manufacturer or a producer, you should be ready to observe. Observation means that you should be ready to look at something very carefully. And as you are looking at it, you are developing an insight. And as you are looking at it, you are forming an idea. Now, the next thing you should be prone to doing as a producer is measure. You should be ready to measure. Not just measure, you should be ready to measure accurately. This is very important. I'm going to speak about measurement with a lot of emphasis, because you can't produce a quality product without measurement. In chemistry, there is what is referred to as the law of simple proportion. Okay? Now, take for example, if you want to produce 2 units of water, you need to have 2 units of hydrogen combining with 1 unit of oxygen to get 2 units of water. So everything in science is backed up with a law. A law is a kind of regularities that you follow. And so if you don't follow those regularities, you will not get a good result. So you should be ready to learn how to measure. This is where most people have problems in production. Most people do not know how to measure anything, and that's a very big problem. You should be ready to learn how to measure. And the next thing that you do as a scientist is you should be ready to experiment. People call me every day, if I mix A and B, what do I get? You should be ready to do experiment. The good thing about experiment is that when you do it and you come out positive, the knowledge becomes your own. it becomes entirely your knowledge, because you are the owner of the experiment and the knowledge becomes your own. This is what makes your product unique. Top brand product in the market spend a very huge amount of their profit on advertisement and research. They do a lot of experiment in the course of their research, and the product of their research is top secret. Now, if you want to go into manufacturing, you also have to do a lot of experiment. Experiment means you have to test a result. What do I get if I mix A and B? What do I get if I mix B and C? What do I get if I mix D and E? Will it give me the right result? You have to do experiment by yourself. So you should be ready to do experiment. If you're not ready to do experiment, you can't get a good result. Some people called me and said, I want to produce soap. I want my soap to look like Dove. Oh my goodness. Dove will not give you their formula. They will not give it to you. You have to develop your own product. You understand? You have to develop your product, and it takes research and experiment for you to be able to develop your product. If your research or experiment is positive, it becomes your knowledge, it becomes your idea, it becomes completely your own property. Nobody can take it away from you except you give it out by yourself. So experiment is very important and it's useful. Now the next thing you do is that you should record your observations and measurement. This is very important. You have to learn how to record whatever observations you make, whatever experiment you do, whatever measurement you do. You need to record whatever you have. Now, a man called me some time ago and said he was into soap production for about 6 years, and then he left soap production for some time, and now he wants to go back into it. And now he said he has lost the measurement. He knows all the formula, but he has lost the measurement. And I asked him, when you were making the production those days, were you not writing anything down? He said he had no document. And I said, oh my goodness, you've been making production for 6 years and you were not writing anything down? He said yes. Oh my goodness. And I said, even my mothers in the village will not do this. Even my mothers in the village, they'll have a way of representing things on the ground, and each time they see the diagram they drew on the ground, it reminds them of something. You that went to school, you had no document, no record, nothing. So as a scientist, you should be ready to document things down. Very important. Now the next thing is that you should be ready to do deductions or analysis. You should be able to do analysis, okay, based on the results, based on the experiment, based on the research you have done, the experiment you've done. You should be able to draw conclusions and draw analysis from your conclusion. So these are the things you have to learn how to do as a scientist or as a producer. It's very, very important that you know this. You have to have these characteristics as a producer, and it's going to help you develop your product properly. So thank you very much for watching, and God bless you. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can visit our website on www.sunshineresources.org.ng. You can visit our YouTube channel on youtube.com/c/Sunshine Resources SRTV. You can also follow us on our Facebook page on Sunshine Resources. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you.